Can you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Carrie Harkins.
And I'm Steve Hall.
All right.
And they work at Horizons. So I'm Brittany Denny. I don't know if you guys recognize me. I've been here a couple of times this semester. So I'm taking a class called Family and Community Health, and it's in the Bachelor's of Nursing program at Northwest Florida. And basically, this class had some clinical time, and I had to go to a place within the community like Horizons and like volunteer and observe and stuff like that. So basically, in this program, I had to define or find a need within the community and teach about it and talk about it a little bit. So my presentation is called From Disability to Capability, which I'm sure you guys are aware of that. That's in the mission statement, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Here, yeah. So here's some couple objectives for this presentation. It's basically just to identify the signs and symptoms of anxiety and possible depression in a disabled individual. So, to suggest ways on how to handle these clients showing signs of depression and or anxiety, and know who to tell when you recognize these signs. So they're really simple. You guys probably do already every day. So here are some of the signs and symptoms of anxiety and depression in a disabled individual. And when I mean disabled, I mean maybe autistic or Downs or a couple other things. And some of these signs could be different than what you would see in you or I. So a couple of them are excessive sleeping or fatigue, which I've seen it here just volunteering. You see some of the clients who are just like sleepy all the time. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with whatever their medication is.
Exactly, yeah.
We have one client in here in the 2 to 6 room that will come in the mornings and he'll sleep for about an hour, and then his dad comes and gives him meds at lunchtime, and then he'll sleep for like an hour.
Exactly.
And then he'll be like wired, like that sleeping 1 hour.
Yeah.
Will recharge his whole system, and
Yeah.
he's just wide open.
Wow.
We also have some that do not like sleeping at night.
Yeah, a lot of them have sleeping problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Well, not sleeping problems, but they would rather stay awake and watch TV all night.
But their sleep schedules are kind of off, don't they? They like to, or they stay awake all the time.
No, what they try to do is stay up and watch TV at the group homes, and then they want to come here and sleep all day.
Right.
And we know which ones those are, so we don't allow it.
Right.
You know, we constantly keep waking them up.
Yeah.
Make them get up and do stuff to, you know.
Or try to.
Yeah,
exactly.
try to. Some of them, you know, that one or two could tend to be a little violent if they're
pushed too far.
Yeah. So it just depends on who the client is.
And that's why I chose you guys to talk about this, because you guys see these people all the time. Like you're in their lives more than their families or, you know, other people. So I know you guys would be the best to like identify these changes in them. So a couple other ones are loss of interest or pleasure in normal activities, change in appetite or weight. They could start eating more, start eating less, increased agitation and frustration in normal activities, decreased interaction with other individuals and diminished interest, regression with decline in cognitive and social skills, obsessive compulsive behaviors. A lot of them already have some of these.
Well, I noticed more with more of the autistic, and Steve might agree with me. They have food. I mean, like they think they need to eat all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, even if they're not hungry, they just constantly want to eat.
Yeah.
So they'll try to take someone else's food or get in the garbage. You know.
We have a few of those.
Yeah. That. You know, so they have to constantly have someone sitting right on top of them when they're eating lunch, so they don't take anybody else's.
Right.
You know, but they try to steal food all the time or get to the kitchen and, you know, and the strength of them is so much you wouldn't think, but their strength is way more than you would think in a client like that.
It's kind of scary too, because you're by yourself and you're trying to keep them away. And then the last one is just changes in behaviors recognized over a period of time. Like, you know, everyone has a good and bad day, so I'm sure, you know, their behaviors are different from day to day. But if you notice these like significant changes over a period of time, then you think, okay, maybe something else is going on. And like you said, sometimes it's because they're on medications that they don't even need to be on, or they do need to be on a medication. So, and then who do you tell? I'm sure you guys already know this, but you can also talk to other staff members between yourselves and say, hey, if you recognize these things like I have, tell family or the caregivers. You can also let Tony know, I guess. And then don't ignore your intuition. If you think something's up, just say something, which I'm sure you guys already do. And then how to deal with these symptoms at ADT. Have one-on-one interaction if possible, and I notice you guys do that anyways. If they don't participate within the group, you guys try to pull them side to side and work with them one-on-one. And then music and art therapy is helpful, which I know you guys do already. And if they are more cognitively progressed, let them know you're here for them. Maybe they can talk to you about what's going on, some of them at least. And give them space. Don't force unwanted interactions.
Yeah, back here in this group, they don't really work together much because they all have their
Quirks.
their quirks.
Yeah.
So and none of them talk back here.
Right.
No.
These are all nonverbal back here.
Not one single one of them. Well, Felicia can say a few words. She used to speak, but
I have one in my class that's nonverbal.
Yeah, but all of the ones that we have back here, all
Those
six
are
clients, don't talk at all.
Wow.
So it's hard to know what they want. So like we're constantly adding new signs to them to talk to us. You know, but
it's hard.
not all of them do sign language either. One client we have out there, he's new to us. He's just been here since July. He don't sign at all.
Oh wow.
And they don't sign at home with him. He drags them wherever they want to go. Well, we don't want to encourage that behavior because we have 5 other clients to tend to, and he's a busybody, so he wants to drag you with him all day long, all the way around everywhere, So
Not only that, but we, as part of our motto says, it's to ability, to capability.
Right.
And having to drag someone behind you all the time is not a capability
Exactly.
because it's not always available.
Right.
So we encourage those that our verbal that can speak but choose not to communicate in some way. Now I have one client that he has speech capability but does not use it. He speaks very little, speaks very softly when he does, and it's usually 1 or 2 words, and knows the signs, but refuses to use them. He is autistic. He does have the wild hand gestures, which unfortunately a lot of our clients interpret the wrong way.
Right. Yeah. I understand.
They see his as a violent outburst.
Yeah.
So we have to watch who he's around.
You guys got a big responsibility. You got a lot of people to attend to. So this is just the last slide, basically to get you guys interacted in my presentation, but you already are. So, but this is scenario 1, and I'll just read it aloud, and you guys can give me some pointers or whatever you think about it. Timothy is a 24-year-old client at the ADT program who is diagnosed with Asperger's. He has been with the program for many weeks, and the staff are familiar with him. He is usually very sweet and shy and normally keeps to himself. He's very bright and does enjoy playing games with others. He has very good self-grooming skills and eats regularly, balanced meals. For the last week, staff members have noticed that he is fatigued most of the day, doesn't find games interesting, not eating much for lunch, and lashes out at other clients when they try to talk to him. What would you do? How would you interact with him? And would you tell anyone, or do you think this is normal behavior from time to time?
no, well, first of all, I would find out if he lives at home, if he lives in a group home,
That makes a
a
difference.
foster home. Well, yeah, it makes a difference
Yeah.
because one, a lot of parents or clients that live at home their parents do not enforce anything we do here.
Mhm.
They just let them rule the roost.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with the behavior.
Mhm.
So they can determine between work and home.
Mhm.
It just takes a long time to get there. So I would find out his environment, and then I would find out what's the change.
Right.
You know,
Not only
last
that,
week.
but you have to also look at medical changes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to look at changes in medicine or
Right.
changes in dosage.
Mhm.
Is he taking,
Mhm.
are they still giving him his medication, or has it been changed?
Right.
Decreased or increased.
Has the
Yeah.
dosage been upped?
Right.
Has it been decreased?
Mhm.
And has he had a physical exam lately?
Exactly. There might be something else like underlying. Might not just be behavioral. Could be, thyroid issues. It could be another medical issue that we're missing.
So
Have you ever identified anything like that, and ever told someone about it?
Well, yeah. Last week we had a client back here who was out of her ordinary, but we knew why. She lives in our group home with there's 5 ladies that live together, and the other ladies all were on a cruise. So she was in a different house with totally different staff,
Right.
not in her own bed.
Mhm.
And every day last week, she had a behavior.
Okay.
But we knew why she was doing it,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we have clients that come in and are fine from week to week, and one day they just act.
Totally different.
Just depends on the client.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. It depends on the client, because we have a lot of clients that come in and they'll be week to week, they'll be fine, and then all of a sudden they'll just have a day that they're got to be basically have a one-on-one,
Right. Yeah.
because their just behavior is extreme.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it just depends. It depends on the client.
Yeah.
And I have found one that we noticed a decrease in hearing. So it was something that was brought up and superiors were notified of. It's like she appears to be hearing less and less every day. And we found out later that they had a hearing test scheduled for her for examination. Now, a lot of times we don't hear about things like this, about what's going on.
Right.
And when we bring things up, it's, oh yeah, we already know about that.
So you guys should be more in the loop because you guys are with them all the time.
Well, usually if it's a client that's either in our supported living program or our group home program, usually the group homes take care of all their appointments. So they just may come and pick them up from here and say, hey, we're taking them to the doctor, or they got an appointment, or they're going to the dentist, or whatever the situation is. We don't never really know what it's about or whatever, unless it starts becoming an issue here.
Right.
The communication between departments is sometimes very lax.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially when they drop the clients off in the morning and we get no information about, hey, they had a great night, or you need to watch this person because he's already had 2 behaviors at home. Now, I also do transport work in the morning, and when we pick a client up and they're in the van and they're acting out, we try to, as when we arrive here, we let everybody know that there's been a behavior issue with this person, something happened at home.
Right.
They've been in a bad mood, or they've been in an odd mood since they arrived in the van.
Yeah, that's good. That's good you noticed that stuff.
We wish group homes would communicate with us more.
Yeah.
Which we understand that whoever brings them in the morning, they've been with them since 10 o'clock that night.
Right.
So they're fixing to get off.
Yeah.
But like he said, if they would come in, like one of the clients we have back here, sometimes he won't sleep all night long. And then he'll come in here and he will be the biggest bear, and he'll want to sleep all day. And we try not to allow it to a point, because this is work,
Right.
and we're here to do a curriculum,
Right.
you know.
And that is one of the rules that we have here is no sleeping.
Yes. You
But
know,
as she stated earlier, we have to watch which clients
Mm-hmm.
really which ones we try to keep awake,
Mm-hmm.
because some of them do become violent
Mm-hmm.
from lack of sleep.
Yeah.
yeah.
And as she pointed out earlier, you can find a very small person but has strength beyond belief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that happen too. So that's really it. These are my references. But thank you guys so much for coming and listening.
you're
to
welcome.
talk. Do you guys have any like questions? Anything you want to add? You guys are so great. No.
No. We don't have anybody here with Asperger's.
Well, it's a form of autism, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of have.
My son has it. My
Yeah.
stepson has
Oh,
it.
does he? Wow. So you notice
Has a very mild
Asperger's.
case of it.
Mhm.
He's if you go into his realm,
Mhm.
he will talk to anybody and everybody
Mhm.
about it.
Mhm.
But once you switch over to some other subject,
Mhm.
he just tunes you out and
Oh.
it's over. Conversation's over.
Uh-huh.
It was hard to get him, and he's extremely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Rain Man was off
Yeah.
Asperger's.
Most of them are.
It was hard to get him in school
Mhm.
to graduate
Mhm.
because he passed the test with flying colors.
Mhm.
But when it came to doing classwork, it
Right.
didn't interest him.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very boring to him.
Mhm.
And we tried everything. I mean, we tried rewards, we tried punishments.
Mhm.
How do you motivate someone that's unmotivatable?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit into their scheme
Right.
of reality.
Well, so what'd you do?
Wasn't easy.
Yeah.
He did graduate, barely. He graduated with a 2.1
It's okay.
GPA.
But he's so much brighter than a 2.1 though, which
Oh,
is
yes.
so frustrating.
Well, what
He's-
they probably
he's a-
should
he-
have done.
if he could have applied, if his area of interest would have been academics,
Mhm.
he would have been a 4.0
Yeah.
without a problem.
Yeah.
They probably should have tested him to see if, he was probably bored in regular classes, so they probably should have put him in some kind of honors or
Even then,
they tried that.
Oh,
Yeah.
did they?
Was even worse.
Really.
He did wonders if everything was done orally.
Mhm.
But when it came to having to read a book
Mm.
or read a paper,
Mhm. Oh, really? Maybe it's like attention span is short, or he just
Very
knew what
short.
he wanted, and
he took a few college courses, and one English teacher actually gave him an A for his originality on a report that he had to do because he told the truth.
yeah.
And that was, he comes out, he started with something like, I've had 3 weeks to prepare this report, and I started it last night. I did some quick research on the internet and have come up with this report.
They're very
And-
matter of fact.
Yeah,
they
very,
are.
very short, very
Yeah.
to the point.
Uh-huh.
And the report was on it's not really delaying things, but putting things off to the last minute.
Yeah. That's funny.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're very bright, but they have a short attention span, and they do what they want.
They don't really have short attention spans.
Or they know what
They have a very narrow field of
yeah,
focus.
yeah, that's better.
And a lot of them do expand that field of focus as they age.
Yeah.
We've noticed that now that he's working,
Mhm.
his field is a little bit larger
Mhm.
than what it was
Mhm.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that's good.
One thing I've noticed since I've been here is most of our autistic kids
Mhm.
have really bad OCD.
Yeah. Mhm.
Really bad OCD.
Mhm.
Um,
They do. Yeah, a lot of them do.
I mean, well, at least with the clients that I have back here that
Mhm.
that are autistic have really bad OCD.
It's like a control thing.
Well, like we have one client we're working with on patients, and so we take these items, and they're just little men, but there's like so many are orange, so many are yellow, so many are purple, so many are red, and so many are blue, and we're trying to put them in the bucket one at a time.
Mhm.
Because, you know, just to, he'll want to do 2 or 3.
Mhm.
But the thing is, I notice when I dump them out on the table, he'll do all the purple,
Mhm.
all the yellow.
Mhm.
And if one color gets in the bucket that's not supposed to be in there,
Mhm.
he takes it out.
Mm.
Like if a blue gets in
Yeah.
there and he's not too blue, he'll remove it.
Mm.
It's not supposed to be in
Nope.
there yet.
They have their quirks.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for
You're
giving
welcome.
me your time. Appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good day.
Have a day in paradise.
Thank you.
Hopefully it'll be a quiet day.
That's right.